Hi guys, Bran here, and welcome to a different kind of video. I've been getting questions lately, and I've been getting questions kind of throughout this whole YouTube thing when it comes to me making commentary videos and me making content, of people asking, can you cover more macro gameplay instead of micro gameplay? Because most of what we cover technically does count as micro gameplay, that being like perks being too strong, killers needing reworks, maps needing reworks, all that sort of stuff. That's kind of like the micro aspect of the game. That's narrowing in on one tiny thing and kind of hard focusing it. Now, a lot of people have asked over the period of time that I've been doing this whole thing to cover more macro things. So there are sometimes I do that. I just put out a video on slugging recently. That's more of a macro idea, macro strategy, but they're few and far between. And the reason that is because it's kind of hard to summarize macro gameplay, because by nature macro gameplay is very intense and hard to quantify, and that's kind of the skill that most players have a hard time understanding, because ergo, it is hard to understand. In equal parts, it is hard for me to be able to say what is the big brain plays where you're controlling the whole map and all four survivors at the same time that leads you to being a good Dead by Daylight player, because I just kind of do these things, right? Like, I don't really think about it for the most part. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a page out of Scott Junn's book, but he does it for Elden Ring. I'm gonna do it for Dead by Daylight. I'm gonna play some matches of Dead by Daylight. I'm gonna play a few, and I'm gonna pick a match from these that I feel like really teaches a lot and really shows you a lot of what a good macro gameplay style is, and kind of commentate over it, narrate my thoughts with it, like what am I thinking, what's going through my head while I'm making those big macro decisions. That way I can see what I am doing right, because when I'm in the moment and I'm like blasting through it, I don't really think about what I'm doing. But from a narrated perspective, without stream, time to talk to manage stream, just playing some matches by myself and kind of just thinking about what I'm doing and what's I'm doing right, maybe I could teach you something. So I'm going to play those few matches, going to pick a match that I think gives a lot of good tips, and I'm going to present that one to you. So this is going to be a start of a new series, possibly. If you want to see specific narrated matches with specific characters, specific perk loadouts, specific maps, if you want to see me like try to, how do you play Yamaoka, for example, stuff like that, just let me know in the comments down below, and I can make videos based upon that. And yeah, so without further ado, I've already talked enough, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we get Ironworks of Misery, which is not my favorite map, especially on Huntress. Essentially, when I'm playing anything on Killer in general, when I'm playing a match and I have to have a giant building in the middle, it always obscures me. Now, what I do here, this is a big macro strategy, even if it doesn't seem like it. So at the beginning of your match, whenever your match begins, and you start off and you got your opening panoramic, you have your opening panoramic. You look here, and anywhere in a triangle out from you, you being the point of the triangle right around the play button, out in a triangle around you is vaguely where the survivors typically spawn. Sometimes it's weird and they spawn off to the left or the right, but for the most part, most survivors will spawn anywhere in this invisible triangle right here in front of you, going from the play button to the corner, across, and down, back, down. And if you look, I go directly that way, and somebody is immediately up here running across. And also, Elodie is back here running as well, so that was... you need to use that when you're starting your match to find people really easily, is to use that upside-down triangle kind of methodology, that tactic, because that's where a lot of people will spawn. So we get the quick down on the Claudette. We get that pretty swiftly. And we're going to hook her not away from the action, but where I know multiple survivors are. So I turn around, and I see Elodie's running across back here. Elodie's running across back here because I see the scratch marks. And also I hear this gen being worked on, so I know that Ace is there. So I'm going to hook her not away, but right in the middle of all of this action. That way I can pressure everybody here, including the hook, at the same time without having to move. So purposeful hooking is a very, very important part of Dead by Daylight. That's a big macro strategy, is hooking people vaguely where you want to go and not hooking people in ways that makes it easy for a save, or making it like hard for you to pressure the whole map. You kind of want to put people in the center of the action. That way you can put pressure on multiple people at the same time without going too far. Now, for some reason, Elodie decides to loop around the hook. Don't listen to the rulebook here. Obviously, if people are around the hook, pressure the people that are around hook. And she dead hards, but you know, doesn't get her out of jail free this time. She's getting her challenge. I'll let her get her challenge. So yeah. As you can see, deciding to not worry about the rulebook and wanting to be like, oh well, I gotta leave. Allowed me to get an extra down there. So try not to worry too much about like what may be angering the survivors, because obviously that could potentially be seen as camping. I'm camping them, but as you see, it allowed me to put a lot more pressure on everyone because I was able to stay nearby. Now, I know they're vaguely that way because of barbecue, so I'm going to go check it out. I'm not going to fully commit. I'm just going to look around, see what they're doing. Ace just ran around the other side of the building, so I'm going to crack the brick of the wall, see if he ran inside of the ironworks. He didn't. So I turn around and I look for other survivors. Hey, look, somebody's going for the save. Claudette sticks around for the save. I try to throw a hatchet, but she dodges really well. Now, here's a big deal. So a lot of people will tell you here that, you know, this is just flat out tunneling. It just is. Like, no matter what way you look at it, this is just flat out tunneling, and it will make people upset. The problem is, Claudette did the smart thing, and when the hook save ended, she ran for safety, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to run and find safety, use your distance to get away from the killer. For some reason, Elodie, instead of trying to get away, decides to stay at the tile. What she's trying to do is get my attention because she probably wants to activate DS. She wants to dead hard me to waste time. And I did find out at the end of this match that she did have power struggle, so she was probably also trying to force that as well. So essentially, Elodie is making a dumb play in order to force perks. You have to take advantage of that. Don't listen to the rulebook. Definitely, she's in a bad spot. She made a bad play. You punish bad plays in this game. That's what you do. You punish bad plays in this game. I see scratch marks going into the basement. And as much as I wanted to let her have her challenge, like, she's already completed it, and she just ran into the basement within terror radius, which is just not bright. So, I wasn't sure if she had to head on, so I kind of just waited there. But yeah, we just scoop her out and throw her up on the hook. Now, I slug Elodie because she may have DS. I don't think she does at the end game, but you always got to be conscious about the threat of DS. Especially if you down somebody coming straight off hook. You got to be careful. Ace goes and picks her up. And once again, she, wanting to force her perks, stays at this loop for some reason. So, I will chase the person who's in a bad position. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're being annoying. If somebody's in a bad position, punish them for being in a bad position. Wallop Ace there. I was trying not to hit Claudette, so I'm glad that worked out. He had dead hard, so it didn't matter. She, unfortunately, drops a pallet in a huntress's face with the hatchet raise, which is not good. Once again, she might have DS, so I slug her and let her sit there. And once again, we're back at this tile. Ace dodges, which is good. And Cheryl, who I haven't seen all game, shows up, which is nice. I was hoping to force the pallet there by M1ing, but she wisely didn't, so that's good. I actually get her there. That's pretty good. Because she was being kind of ambiguous with her movement. I decided to, I kind of check and peek around where he is and then go reload. I realized I'm at 5 gens and I got multiple people on death hook. So I kind of like cool it. I kind of relax a little bit. Be careful about doing that because if you give people an inch, they'll take a mile. So be careful about that. Be careful about cooling it off. Like I'm doing right now. It was definitely a risk for me to do that. I definitely could have kept on the pressure. Also, I need barbecue and no way out sucks, so I was kind of like worried about that as well. Once again, she's looping in front of the hook again, and you got to punish this, even though it's dumb, even though it probably sucks. And this is the first time I found out she had dead hard. This probably sucks for this Cheryl, and Cheryl ends up getting really, really mad at me in the after game chat. So I can see why, but it's not really my fault. It's just that people keep looping around the hook. So definitely punish that. Definitely don't let them get away with that. In this scenario, this is another macro thing. If you see somebody come up like this, definitely just go to that hook. Definitely just go to that hook. Like, don't let them get away with it. Also, if you're in a situation like this where for some reason you have a survivor on your shoulder and the survivor in front of you is just baiting you and just baiting you and baiting you, just drop your survivor. Keep up that pressure. Because that person at the very least is slugged and can't do anything. Always, I wouldn't, maybe not always, but most of the time I would just drop that person and go engage in the chase that person wants you to have. because that's more pressure. Man, that would have been sick if I hit that. but I am ever improving at this character. Ever improving at this character. Okay, so at this point, I know Cheryl's running away. Ace just completed a gen far away. They're on the floor, so I decide to kind of pretend to go reload, and then I take a pot shot at the Cheryl that just showed up. And I actually do get her, which is kind of nutty. And then I'm out of hatchets, so I reload. If you're a character that focuses on having their power, and that's like the main thing they do, like if your power is empty or unusable and you're not that strong, definitely always prioritize getting your power back, even if a chase is prevalent. Like you may be like, well, Ace just saved and got 2 people up. Well, it's like, well, now I can have the chase that I'm having right now, I think here I unfortunately forget that she has Dead Hard, and I get clocked pretty badly by the pallet. Yeah, I swing, because I forgot she had Dead Hard. I just saw somebody come straight into my chest. I'm like, whoa! So that was unfortunate, but, that's just Dead Hard things. Don't get too discouraged by that. So I'll go ahead and take my hook. She's made a lot of distance on me. She's at a whole different tile. She's probably fully recovered, so I'll just take the hook again. Get somebody else on death hook. I try to throw hatchets to harass them, but they're behind a rock, and I don't find that out till I get up here. This is another macro thing, and I very poignantly do this. If you're in this situation where you see someone, because Elodie's over here in the corner clearly trying to bait me, because she just wants to spam her perks. She wants to spam Dead Hard. She wants to spam Power Struggle. She wants to waste my time. When you see survivors doing stuff like this, they just want to waste your time, because we're at 4 gens. Usually what they're trying to do when they're doing this is they're trying to get your attention so they can waste time so people can get gens done, heal up, etc. While a lot of people do this and they end up dying anyway because they don't have the skill to back up their bait, a lot of them do. A lot of them are actually pretty good who bait you, and if you fall for that bait, you will throw the whole match trying to down that one person who baited you. So I typically just ignore people who are trying to bait me. Like, people who really, really want to be chased really, really badly usually have a reason for it. So I usually just kind of, leave them be and chase the people who, are actually running away from me and seem more scared. I could hit this, but I was a little too patient. It's always a hard huntress road to, am I being patient enough or am I being too patient? She W games here, but she runs into a dead zone and gives up here, unfortunately. Because she realizes all she has out here is Pride Rock. And that's why, I think a simple way to make W gaming, better is to, make it to where maps aren't so densely stacked. Because, there, she tried to W game, and she, ended up... See, look, there's Elodie again, running into me. I'm going to ignore her again. Because she wants to go waste my time. She wants to spam her perks to try and waste my time. And I don't want my time wasted. I want to win the game. So I'm just going to ignore her and go chase, other people. Look, she's baiting me. She's baiting me. I missed this, sadly. She was baiting me to go chase her, and there are 2 people on a gen trying to get this gen out, which is exactly what I was talking about. The reason she's trying to bait me is probably because she's aware that these 2 are trying to pound out a gen right now, and if I had chased her, that would buy them enough time to do it. So don't fall for that. Case meet point. There's her trying to distract me, and she would have successfully distracted me if I took that chase. And he just kind of vaults here like a mad lad. It was kind of interesting. That was a bad flick. I moved up my sensitivity a little bit lately, so it's been kind of like a weird relearning process. Elodie is still chasing me, and I am still ignoring her. Man, that was weird. I don't know if that was connection issue or Dead Hard. I don't know what that was, because it kind of looked choppy. It kind of looked weird. It did not look normal, but this ace is actually pretty good. Thankfully, I don't really commit to chase with him until somebody's already dead. Because if he had been the one baiting the chase instead of this Elodie, I probably would have been in a lot worse of a place if he had actually been taking the chase instead of everyone else. This is just unfortunate. So the Cheryl unfortunately hears the Terrius and ends up running into me, assuming I'm coming their direction. So she just kind of belly flops in front of me and dies. She's not very happy about this, which you'll see at the end. And still Elodie is chasing me, even then. So I don't know what she was going for here. I think she may have been going for the whole, sneak up and unhook them behind me situation. Because survivors will do that. If you hook someone, sometimes they'll run up straight behind you and unhook the moment you're not looking. to counter this, she doesn't know she's on death hook, but to counter this, just back up, like I did. Just back up. If you just back up, it's easy to see what they're doing, and you can just down them. So, yeah. And then she dies, because she's been on death hook for a while. But yeah, now it's down to just Ace. Just Ace. And a lot of the reason that we're at 4 gens and 3 people are dead is because I didn't make many compromises when it came to my macro gameplay, which is why I thought it was good to pick this one. I didn't pay attention to rule books. I tried to ignore people who were obviously baiting me. I had good map awareness at the beginning of the beginning of the match, which helped me find people really, really easily. So it was kind of just like a perfect storm, and kind of exactly what I was looking for, which I was very thankful for, because like I said, out of the 4 matches I played for this video, I had a I had a DC immediately, I had an AFK gamer, and then an Ormond offering and balance landing gamer. So I was glad I finally got a match that kind of like showed off what I was trying to talk about, and not so much just, you know, people spamming perks or having other horrible issues. So yeah, that is a good Huntress match that I think illustrated a lot of macro ideas. First off, use an upside down triangle. You're using yourself as the point at the top of the triangle to go find survivors where they spawned out in front of you. Try not to worry too much about the rulebook. If somebody is in a bad spot, out of position, in an unsafe position, don't be afraid to chase them. If you're afraid you're tunneling, just slug them. Yeah, and purposeful hooking is a big one that I did during this match, was purposeful hooking to carry people towards the area where you know other survivors are. That way you can pressure both the hook and the person nearby at the same time, so you're pressuring 2 teammates or more at the same time. Purposeful hooking is very important for macro gaming. Yeah, I think that's essentially it. Yeah, I think overall, all in all, that was a good match because of those things, and those were the things that led to me winning. So yeah, hopefully you learned a lot from this video. And if you want to see different ideas, like you want to see a specific character, you want to see a specific playstyle, you want to see specific perks, and narrate how I feel and think when I'm trying to succeed with those things, let me know down in the comments below. But other than that, I don't have anything else for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and let me know how you feel about it. But other than that, I will see you tomorrow, and if I don't, I will see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.